to do something. There is demand, or people asking for more language houses, more different languages. And clearly, when Bolt Hall is full, we can't fill up Alice Cook with many more groups. So would it be, should we consider spreading the language house across different houses?
I think absolutely. I think the houses, I think if you ask a lot of people, at least in my house, that they'll say it was, a really, worthwhile experience. And I think people can really get a lot out of it, if people are interested.
Yeah, because we could still do the program, run the program from here, but some of the sections
put the German house in,
right.
in Becker, or put the...
Exactly, yeah.
We've got two virtual houses now, I think about in the third.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's cool though to actually live together and have a native speaker, for instance.
Right.
I think that's really cool.
But it could still work if not all the language houses
work like together.
work together. You
Right.
might have 5 here and a couple over there.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
And one downside to that is not being able, for example, the kitchen is a big focus for a lot of the language houses, right? You do like crafts or like the Spanish house does like food together and whatnot. So are they giving them access to the language house kitchen and like library and everything, or making sure that we're clustered around?
Yeah, right. So the program would be here, and the program assessment, when Pablo makes paella, etc.
So they also get access to Bolt and everything.
Then everybody, from the other, I'm sure that the virtual people, the house can also come. But that's why I'm saying the program would still be sent in Alice Cook, but you wouldn't physically live there, but you would be, but you would still live in a group of people, with a native speaker.
Get them extra swipe access or something.
I mean, I think one of the, Astrid and Laura Brown and I were actually just talking about this week a little bit, and one of the issues that we'll need to be sensitive to, it won't be an overriding one, but I think we'll want to figure it out, is just understanding how much that may grow as it balances against the guarantee for housing for sophomores and transfers, because while most of the students who are in the language house are the sophomores and transfers, it's not all of them, so to the extent that you are increasing any of the students who aren't otherwise coming into the program for whom we have it guaranteed, we just have a housing crunch issue. So it's just, it's the practical issue that once you get the conceptual model in place and you decide, okay, yes, it can be, then how do we size it?
Because one of the things I was discussing also about, one of the things we could do is to, like next year we have a very large Spanish house, like 15 students, I think 13 or 15.
Wow.
What we could do is to limit the size of any one house and then have more different languages.
Figure out what is your critical mass to have enough people for conversation, but not so big that you can't.
Right. So that's something, but that's why I'm asking the question. Because there is, we have requests also for Russian house also.
Yeah.
So I'm all in favor of that. If it doesn't, but we have to figure out a way how to balance that.
Yeah.
Clearly, one of the problems is space for people not in language houses.
Yeah.
And the other thing is also some budget issue, but that's a separate issue. Which the different
Money.
Instead of money, because the language house costs money to the system.
For the native speaker and things like that.
So.
I think it'd be worthwhile even if they weren't all together.
But that's why I've been thinking about that a lot. I mean, the other thing I've been thinking about, if you do things in the language house, should you get credit for that or not?
I don't know what other people think, but I personally don't think so, because I think it's a voluntary commitment. I mean, you're the one who applies, and you know what you're in for, and I mean, I think that'll take away a little bit of the fun of it, maybe. I don't know.
It'll feel more like an
obligation.
A course or an obligation as opposed to.
I'm very, very interested to do that. I thought to reward you for all the things you do, give you credit, but if we do organize credit for those things, it's very complicated. The idea as such is simple, but how you implement that in each department, it becomes very complicated. So if you don't think you would want that, then we can drop that idea completely, which would make everyone's life easy. No.
It was your pain in the ass. So what prompted you to choose the language house?
A couple of things. Well, for instance, I mean, I'm minoring in French, so I wanted to keep up my French because I studied abroad last summer and I didn't want to lose it. I wanted to meet new people. And second of all, I also really wanted to live on West because my first year, you had a really good number. I had Pass a great number, so by the time my number was up, there was nothing left here. So I ended up living on North, which is great because I lived in HLC, so it's a lot of fun and everything. But I really wanted to be close to campus, so those two factors.
So you use the program house theme or the language house as a way to stay on campus, because in terms of applying to the language house. Otherwise, your number wouldn't. You're a junior this year. Right?
Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have.
Right. You would have been sort of out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
How was HILC?
It was a lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect, but they